1. True intelligence is a divine gift. Some people misinterpret silence as weakness. Others mistake calmness for ignorance. What they often fail to see is the divine intelligence quietly at work within you. Just because someone doesn't speak often or act loudly doesn't mean they lack understanding. In fact, the opposite is often true. Don't forget like, share, and subscribe our channel. Real intelligence isn't measured by the volume of your voice or the number of words you use. It's reflected in the depth of your perception, the wisdom behind your choices, in the calm presence of your soul. It's not about how much you say, but how thoughtfully you act. And this depth of wisdom does not come from textbooks, universities, or academic degrees alone. It comes from Allah. When Allah blesses a person with insight, it is a gift, not something they earned purely through effort. That kind of awareness, the ability to see what others miss, to differentiate right from wrong, and to reflect deeply, it's not the result of personal superiority. It's divine generosity. You didn't create your own mind. You didn't decide how sharp your awareness would be. Allah designed your intellect, shaped your thoughts, and crafted your heart to reflect in a certain way. This is why someone with little formal education can sometimes speak more truthfully and wisely than someone who has spent decades in prestigious academic institutions. A simple believer with a pure heart may immediately recognize truth, while an intellectual may remain lost in doubt and confusion. Allah reminds us of this in the Quran. He gives wisdom to whom He wills, and whoever has been given wisdom has certainly been given much good. Surah Al-Baqarah 2269. Wisdom, therefore, is not about how much information you've acquired. It's about how clearly and sincerely you see. It's about having the sensitivity to know when to speak, when to remain silent, and how to act in a way that earns the pleasure of your Creator. And that clarity, it's not the product of intellect alone. It's a mercy, a divine favor. So never allow your intelligence to make you arrogant. Don't look down on others as if your insight makes you better. The moment you begin to believe your wisdom is entirely self-made, you lose the humility that true intelligence requires. Remain grateful. Stay grounded. Remember, your mind is not a trophy to display, but a trust to be used wisely. It's not a personal achievement. It's a spiritual responsibility. 2. Not everyone is meant to understand you. In life, as you grow in understanding and awareness, you might begin to feel disconnected from the people around you. When Allah grants you a deeper perception, a sharper clarity of thought, a stronger spiritual focus, others may struggle to understand your behavior or choices. That doesn't mean you're better than them. It simply means that Allah is guiding you along a unique path that may differ from theirs. Each soul has its own journey, its own stage of growth. And when your heart is oriented toward truth, when your thoughts become more intentional, and when your actions align with your purpose, people might misinterpret you. You might speak with wisdom, only to be misunderstood. You might choose silence over arguments, and they'll call you cold or distant. You may avoid gossip, drama, or meaningless talk, and some may label you arrogant or aloof. But their opinions don't define you. The truth is, you weren't created to be understood by everyone. Your insight, your discipline, your clarity, they were never meant to impress others. They are tools to protect your soul, to keep you on course with the life Allah has intended for you. As Allah lifts your level of consciousness, your perspective begins to shift. You notice things others overlook. You prioritize peace over popularity. You start valuing stillness, solitude, and meaningful time with Allah over social noise. And that shift can make people uncomfortable, even resentful. But don't let that discourage you. Don't let their discomfort pull you back down or cause you to question your growth. You don't owe explanations to those who can't yet understand your transformation. When Allah chooses to elevate your heart and mind, He also teaches you how to walk alone with grace. That's not loneliness. That's spiritual strength. So keep walking your path. Keep seeking His pleasure. And remember, the more you grow in truth, the fewer people will fully grasp who you are. That's okay, because your journey is between you and Allah, not them. 3. Let them talk. Stay focused on your mission. People may laugh at you. They may whisper behind your back, question your choices, and doubt your path. Let them. Their laughter doesn't define your worth. Their doubts do not shape your destiny. Their opinions are not your responsibility. You were not created to be understood by everyone. Your mission is not to earn their approval or explain your journey to those who aren't meant to walk it with you. Your mission is far greater. It is to follow the path that Allah has laid out specifically for you. And if that means walking alone sometimes, walk with courage. Because walking alone with Allah is far more powerful than walking with crowds who are going nowhere. 4. True intelligence is seen in restraint, not just in action. Many people believe that intelligence is all about having the right answers, speaking with confidence, or showcasing how much they know. In today's world, being smart often gets reduced to quick comebacks, flashy words, or the ability to dominate a conversation. But the intelligence that truly matters, the kind that Allah honors, is deeper, quieter, and wiser. True intelligence isn't just displayed in what you do, it's revealed in what you avoid. It shows up not only in how you act, but in what you choose to let go of. A wise person knows that not every situation requires a reaction. They don't rush to speak. They pause. They reflect. They weigh the cost of their words and actions before making a move. That's what sets them apart. While a foolish person might jump into arguments, chase after attention, or constantly try to prove they're right, a person with true understanding knows better. They realize that silence can sometimes be the most powerful response. They don't waste time on meaningless debates or energy on people who aren't ready to listen. Why? Because they've been taught by life and by Allah to see beyond the surface. They know that sometimes the real enemy isn't the person in front of them. It's the ego within them, pride, anger, the need to be seen or heard. These can be traps that pull you off your path. So they walk away, not because they are weak, but because they are strong enough to master themselves. This is why the Prophet Muhammad taught us the powerful value of silence. He said, "Whoever remains silent has been saved." Tirmidhi. Think deeply about that. Saved from what? Saved from speaking words they'll regret. Saved from arguments that lead nowhere. Saved from fueling the fire of negativity and ego. Because words carry weight. Once they're spoken, they can't be taken back. That's why the truly intelligent treat their speech like a treasure. Something precious, not to be thrown around carelessly. They don't speak to be heard. They speak to benefit. They don't remain silent out of fear. They remain silent out of wisdom. 5. Wisdom means knowing when silence speaks louder than words. A truly wise person understands that silence, when chosen deliberately, can be more powerful than the most brilliant reply. They don't remain silent because they're weak or unsure. They remain silent because they know timing, intention, and impact matter. They know that silence at the right moment speaks louder than any clever comeback. It speaks of strength, of patience, of clarity. They choose restraint not to avoid confrontation, but because they are fully aware that Allah is always watching, and that patience is often the higher path, the more intelligent path. They aren't looking for worldly validation, they're seeking divine approval. So the next time you're tempted to react, whether in anger, frustration, or pride, pause and remember, walking away doesn't make you weak. Choosing silence doesn't make you small. It means your intellect is working. It means your heart is being guided. It means you are walking in the footsteps of those who truly understood what it means to master the self. The prophets, the righteous, the wise. Their strength wasn't in how loud they were. It was in how much they could hold back. And that's the mark of true wisdom. 6. Most people are threatened by what they can't understand. One of the most difficult truths to accept in life is this: you will be misunderstood, not because of who you are, but because of what others cannot comprehend. When Allah blesses you with a sharp mind, a pure heart, a calm presence, or an unusual depth of understanding, it sets you apart. And what is different is often not celebrated, it is feared. People don't always dislike you because of something you've done. Sometimes they're simply reacting to something in you that they don't recognize in themselves. You begin asking deeper questions. They say you're overthinking. You choose silence during conflict. They call you cold or arrogant. You focus on growth, discipline, and faith, and they say you're boring or out of touch. But in reality, they're not uncomfortable with you. They're uncomfortable with the mirror your presence holds up. Your peace exposes their restlessness. Your discipline highlights their distraction. Your clarity reminds them of their confusion. Rather than admit their discomfort, they mock it. Rather than seek to understand it, they reject it. This is the cost of inner growth. When Allah elevates your thinking, your heart, and your lifestyle, not everyone around you will be ready for that shift. Some will feel left behind, some will feel challenged, some will feel exposed. Not because you judge them, but because your calmness, your control, and your focus makes them question their own behavior. And that's okay. You weren't created to be accepted by everyone. You were created to walk your path with sincerity, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Your job is not to dim your light for their comfort. Your job is to keep walking in the light Allah has given you. 7. Some will resent what they should be inspired by. Keep going. Anyway, there will be moments in your journey when, instead of being inspired by your growth, people choose to resent you. Instead of asking how you found your peace, they question why you act so differently. This is not a reflection of your failure. It's a reflection of their discomfort. Don't let that pull you down. It's human nature to resist what we don't understand. Throughout history, even the prophets, the most truthful, pure-hearted people to walk the earth, were mocked, misjudged, and rejected by many. Their messages were divine, yet people still turned away. Why? Because truth exposes falsehood, and light, while beautiful, also reveals what others may want to hide. So if people misunderstand you, exclude you, or make you feel like an outsider because of your clarity, remember this. Your worth has never depended on their approval. It is rooted in Allah's guidance. If Allah has elevated your mind and opened your heart to a clearer way of living, that's not a burden. That's an honor. You've been chosen to see clearly in a world clouded by distraction and confusion. So never dim your light just because others find it too bright. Never shrink your intelligence to make others feel comfortable. Stay humble, stay kind, stay respectful. But don't apologize for your insight. That insight is a gift from Allah. And like every divine gift, it won't be understood by all. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand. Your goal is not to be accepted by everyone. Your goal is to stay loyal to the truth that Allah has shown you, even if it means walking alone. 8. Divine intelligence teaches you to reflect, not react. One of the clearest signs of true intelligence, the kind that comes from Allah, is not how fast you speak or how sharp your comebacks are. It's how deeply you reflect before you act. In today's world, we're constantly pressured to react, to prove ourselves, defend ourselves, respond instantly. But the truly wise have learned the strength of stillness. When Allah grants you intelligence, He often gives you something even more powerful. Clarity of thought. That clarity becomes your internal compass. It helps you discern when to speak and when to remain silent, when to take a stand and when to step back, when to respond and when to walk away completely. You are no longer ruled by your emotions. You are no longer led by ego. You respond with wisdom, not with impulse. Most people are reactive by nature. If they feel offended, they lash out. If they feel challenged, they defend. But those who are guided by divine intelligence ask different questions. Is this worth my energy? Will this bring me closer to Allah? What would the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, do in this moment? In that pause, in that breath of reflection, they make a powerful choice. They choose patience over pride, silence over shouting, understanding over ego, understanding over ego. This is not weakness, this is strength. As the Prophet Muhammad taught, the strong is not the one who can overpower others. The strong is the one who can control himself in the moment of anger. Bukhari and Muslim. True power is not about physical dominance. It's about emotional and spiritual mastery. It's being able to remain calm in the middle of chaos, to protect your peace even when provoked. When Allah gives you this kind of intelligence, you no longer feel the need to win every argument or prove every point. You don't waste your energy on people who aren't ready to receive what you offer. You recognize that peace is more valuable than pride, and sometimes the cost of winning is too high. So remember this: when you feel your emotions rising, pause. Ask yourself, what will bring me closer to Allah in this moment? And then choose your next words or actions with intention, or choose silence. Because intelligence isn't just about knowing what's right. It's about choosing the right thing at the right time, even when that means saying nothing at all. 9. You can't teach depth to shallow minds. And that's okay. One of the most humbling lessons that deeply intelligent people must learn is this: you can't force someone to understand what they're not ready to see. You could explain yourself clearly. You could speak with patience and kindness. But still, some people will never truly listen, not because you failed, but because their hearts aren't open and their minds aren't ready. It's like trying to pour the ocean into a teacup. No matter how much wisdom you carry, if someone's capacity is limited, they simply can't hold it. When Allah gives you depth, the ability to see beyond the surface, to find meaning in pain, to ask the hard questions, to live with intentionality, not everyone will celebrate that. Some may say you're too serious, too quiet, too intense, too different. But that discomfort isn't really about you. It's about the space your presence creates, a space that reflects back to them everything they've been avoiding. Your stillness makes them restless. Your values make them question their own. Your discipline challenges their distractions. And instead of rising to meet you, some will resist you. Not because you're wrong, but because your truth exposes their denial. Your clarity threatens their comfort zone. Some people are addicted to drama, quick opinions, shallow talk. When you bring depth, silence, or spiritual focus, it unsettles them. But that's not your burden to carry. You were not made to fit into shallow spaces. You were made to rise, to think deeply, to live meaningfully, to reflect divine light. So stop trying to be understood by everyone. Some will never see your value until they grow. Some may never grow, and that's not your failure. Keep being you. Keep choosing clarity. Keep walking your path, even when it's quiet, even when it's lonely, because the one who gave you depth sees you, and his approval is more than enough. 10. Not everyone understood the prophet, and not everyone will understand you. The prophet Muhammad, the most truthful, pure, and wise human being to ever live, was rejected by many in his own time. He spoke truth with unmatched clarity. He invited people to reflect, to worship the one true God, to leave behind falsehood and pride. And yet many mocked him. They attacked him. They called him a liar, not because the message lacked wisdom, but because the hearts receiving it were not ready. Allah himself says in the Quran, "You do not guide whom you love, but Allah guides whom He wills." Surah Al-Qasas 28:56. This verse teaches us a powerful truth. Guidance does not come from human effort alone. It comes from Allah. You can share your thoughts with sincerity. You can explain with patience. You can even cry in frustration, wanting so deeply to be understood. But in the end, only Allah can open a heart to receive truth. So if you've ever felt out of place, if your sincerity has been misunderstood, if your depth feels too much for those around you, know this: you've outgrown the space you're in. You were not meant to shrink just to be accepted. You were meant to protect the gift Allah gave you, the clarity of your heart and the depth of your mind. Stop pouring your wisdom into vessels that can't hold it. Stop exhausting yourself explaining to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Protect your energy. Guard your words. Save them for sincere souls, those who are seeking, growing, and open, because they do exist. And when they find you, your words will land in exactly the hearts they were meant for. Until then, be content with silence. Be content with solitude. And know that Allah sees the strength it takes to remain kind, calm, and wise in a world that often chooses noise over truth. Your mission is not to convince everyone. Your mission is to carry the light, even if only a few recognize its glow. 11th, Use your intelligence to serve, not to show off. When Allah blesses someone with intelligence, insight, or wisdom, it's never meant to be a status symbol. It's not a trophy to show off, nor a weapon to belittle others. It is a trust, a divine responsibility. And yet, many fall into the trap of pride. They use their intellect to dominate conversations, to prove others wrong, to win arguments, forgetting that real intelligence is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about guiding with humility and serving with purpose. Everything Allah gives can also be taken away. So the first rule of divine intelligence is this: humility. Remember, this mind you have is not your own design. It's on loan from Allah. He gave you the ability to see clearly, not so you could show off, but so you could be a light for others in the dark. Imagine holding a flashlight in a cave. You're not meant to shine it in people's eyes to blind them. You're meant to light the path so they can walk safely beside you. That's what true intelligence is for: to guide, not to shame, to heal, not to harm. The Prophet Muhammad was the most intelligent and insightful human being in history. Yet he was also the most humble. He never mocked the ignorant. He never looked down on those who didn't understand. He spoke gently, even when he was rejected. He taught with compassion, even when he was attacked. That is the model we are called to follow. So if Allah has blessed you with knowledge, ask yourself, is my intelligence making me more patient or more proud? Am I using it to serve people or to impress them? Does this serve my ego or does it serve my purpose? Because only one of those paths leads to Allah's pleasure. The truly wise understand that intelligence is a tool, and tools are meant to build, not destroy. You can use your words to build someone's faith, to mend a broken heart, to encourage someone who feels lost, or you can use the same words to humiliate, to dominate, to inflate your own image. The difference lies in your intention. So if you want your intelligence to be blessed, use it for good. Speak only when your words can benefit. Teach only when there's a heart ready to learn. Share your thoughts in a way that uplifts, not in a way that pushes others down. And always remember, the smarter you become, the softer your heart should grow. Because the greatest sign of wisdom is not in how much you speak, but in how gently you treat those who know less than you. 12. True intelligence is quietly powerful, deeply sincere. Intelligence is not about how much you know. It's about how well you serve. It's not measured by how loudly you speak, but by how gently you walk. It's not found in how much attention you attract, but in how much light you leave behind when you're gone. What matters most is not how intelligent the world thinks you are, but how sincerely you used your mind to please Allah and help others find Him too. True intelligence isn't about having all the answers. It's about recognizing the source of all wisdom, Allah. And when He blesses you with clarity, with deep understanding, with insight, it's not for show, it's not for likes, applause, or recognition. It's so you can walk the path He designed for you, with patience, with purpose, and above all, with humility. Yes, some people will misunderstand you. They may mock your silence, question your choices, or mistake your calmness for arrogance. But that's okay, because true intelligence is not proven by who claps for you. It's revealed in how you respond when no one understands you at all. You weren't created to fit in. You were chosen to rise, even if it means rising alone. Let them doubt you. Let them fear what they can't explain. Because what you carry is not of this world. It's a gift from your Creator. So protect it, guard it, and most importantly, use it to serve. Speak with wisdom, act with intention, walk with humility, and never forget, the more Allah gives you, the more He's trusting you to use it with care. You don't need to prove your intelligence to anyone. Let your silence speak. Let your discipline shine. Let your actions reflect the light that Allah placed within you. That is the mark of true intelligence. Not loud, but powerful. Not proud, but purposeful. And always, always connected to the one who gave it. May Allah keep your heart sincere, your mind sharp, and your soul guided. Ameen.